Andrea, you've had the opportunity to speak with Mrs. Carter. Talk to us about the impact of Rosalynn as a First Lady, as a mental health advocate, and as a humanitarian.
I can't tell you with what gratitude and admiration I am marking her passing. She was really the first advocate nationally for mental health care throughout the nation, did that throughout her life, not just in the White House, but did it notably in the White House with her husband's full support. She attended cabinet meetings, which was controversial at the time. She was his partner in business, as you pointed out, in the peanut farm business, but they really knew each other all their lives, literally all their lives, because his mother, Ms. Lillian, was the midwife who delivered Rosalynn Carter. And when she was born a couple of days later, his mom, Ms. Lillian, brought 3-year-old Jimmy to see the newborn infant she had just delivered, and that was Rosalynn. They went all through school together, and she had a crush on him. She was very close to his sister, and she had a crush on him when he was in uniform, a midshipman, and they married, right after he got out of the Naval Academy. And she was then a Navy wife. He was a submariner under Admiral Rickover. But she, through all the ups and downs in their marriage, the pinnacle of success, of course, in the White House, and then the defeat, which was crushing to her, to Ronald Reagan. She was at his side and always a full partner. And he was so devoted to her and she to him. Through the interviews that I've done with them when they were building homes for Habitat, their adventures and commitment to Africa, curing river blindness and other diseases, all of these humanitarian endeavors, which just defined their life. It was a spiritual commitment. It was a public service commitment. And their love affair was profound. I just got off the phone with a good friend of theirs who said, that she usually got up even in their illness in their later years. He in hospice since last February. She in just the last few, days saying that she was in hospice at home, but having announced her dementia several months ago, but still, I am told, recognizing close friends and family. And she would get up and go into the living room past his recliner and give him a kiss every morning. And not just, as it was described to me, a peck on the forehead, but a passionate kiss, because that was the passionate side of their relationship, which should not be underestimated. It was one of the great love affairs.
Wow.
Charles?
Michael, Rosalynn was nicknamed the Steel Magnolia. What did that nickname say about her power and her influence?
Well, it said a lot about the time that she was First Lady, because that was not said particularly kindly. And the subtext of that was that if you had a strong woman who was an almost equal partner to her husband professionally, especially if the husband was President of the United States, she was a steel magnolia and therefore, to some extent to be suspected. But Rosalynn Carter really changed the way that we look not only at First Ladies, but women in general. For instance, Eleanor Roosevelt is seen as this great, strong First Lady. She sure was. She was never an equal partner to Franklin Roosevelt. He was glad to get her help on civil rights and certain issues, but otherwise he had her marginalized, and they did not have a particularly great personal relationship. Contrast that with the Carters, who, from the time that they had the peanut farm, to the time that he was in the Navy, to the time that he ran for the state Senate and then governor and then for President of the United States, and then as President and First Lady, he made sure that she was as close to being an equal partner as his wife could be. She looked at his speeches. When he did not do well, she told him. She had huge expectations of him. And one other thing, you and Andrea were quite rightly mentioning the fact that she was a champion for mental health. That doesn't seem like much perhaps in 2023, but in 1977, politicians were very worried about getting identified with the issue of mental health. Their handlers would say, if you do this, it might suggest to some people that there's some mental health problem in the candidate's background or the president's family. Eleanor Roosevelt, for instance, had an alcoholic father and brother and serious mental illness problems in her family. She never went near that issue in public. Rosalind Carter did. So Rosalind Carter made it easier for all of us, I think, to live the lives that we do today. Can't think of a better legacy than that.